So quiet quitting was never the problem. It was the pause. It was the moment so many of us finally asked, what am I still giving and what am I getting back? And that pause mattered because it protected you. But now it's time to rebuild with clarity and intention. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 steps to help you rebuild your confidence, your energy, and your presence at work without changing who you are. And the 4 steps that I'm going to walk you through is my very own framework. It's called SEEN, SEEN, and it stands for Self, Expression, Elevate, and Next Level. So I'm going to walk you through every single one of these steps and show you how you can use this framework to rebuild who you are and find that confidence in yourself so that you can show up and be yourself and excel. So why do we start with self in my SEEN model? And it's because we need to be asking, what narratives are we thinking about? What stories are we telling ourselves to get us into quiet quitting in the first place? So you have felt overlooked. You feel undervalued. But why is that? And what is going on behind the scenes? And it is oftentimes just protection. Your brain is telling you like, hey, I really need to survive. I need to protect myself. So I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to keep myself small. And hopefully that just gets me by because I really need my paycheck. I really need to have this sense of security. And my identity is so strongly bonded with the type of work that I do and or maybe the company that I work with that I just cannot give it up. And so if I stayed as small as possible, I'm going to just be able to get by and continue doing my work and not have to deal with all the nonsense that has happened to you that got you into quiet quitting. So understand those narratives for yourself because you need to unpack that. You need to understand what is happening behind the scenes, what is going on for you in your mind, and we need to reframe them. And part of that reframe needs to be based on empowerment. It needs to be based on what you want to do. It can't be based on fear. So it can't be based on, oh my goodness, I'm going to get fired now. And you know what? That's a very valid reason to want to step up. But at the same time, you need to find a reason for yourself that is above and beyond survival because you need to find a glimpse of yourself and who you want to be, who you aspire to be, and how you ultimately want to show up because that is who you are. You need to bring yourself home. You need to bring yourself to light so that others can see you for who you are. And that's going to increase your chances of success because it's going to be a sustainable way of working and living for you that's going to help you grow in the long run. It's going to help you alleviate any sort of imposter syndrome that you're going to face if you do that inner work for yourself. And this is why we start with self. We need to understand ourselves and we need to understand what we need and want out of a career so that we can take tangible steps to get there. Then the next step is expression. Oftentimes after we have figured out our self, our mindsets and our thoughts, that can change how we feel and that can change the way that we behave and we show up. And what I often tell clients is once you can figure out the why and the what, the how can come very easily. So this is around your voice, what you say, how you communicate, and not just how you say it, but also how you show up. What does your presence look like? You have to do that inner work, but at the same time, when you have done that inner work and you're ready to show up, you're going to see yourself more positively. You're going to show up to others more positively. And I have many frameworks in which I can help you to articulate what you want to articulate in that room. So whatever it may be that, you know what, I haven't been speaking up in a room for a long time and I need to know how to get started, or I have actually dissociated myself from my peers and the relationships that I have at work and I feel quite alone and I want to start bridging those relationships. And the great thing actually is the more that you step into that position to be able to express yourself and start to kind of stretch yourself outside of that comfort zone to start speaking up in meetings again, that's going to reinforce your thoughts because you are now giving yourself positive signals that you're doing something that is helping you change and being back into who you are. And so that is really rewarding and that keeps the momentum going. When you're able to speak, you're also building relationships and you're building trust with others. So it's going to help you with your visibility. It's going to help you with being authentic to others, and it's going to help others see you for who you are. And then the second E in my scene framework stands for elevate. And really, elevate is to help you with in the moment practice, because the more that we can step outside of our comfort zone, the more growth we're going to experience. And we don't want to get so far into a danger zone, but basically we want to stretch yourself a little bit more uncomfortable each time until that becomes your new comfort. So that is how you know that you're growing. You're experiencing something that you're uncomfortable with, that's going to be unknown to you, that was previously a risk to you. Now you're risk taking, you are taking safe steps to get you to a place where you feel like you can be yourself again, being who you are, but you just need to take some small and safe steps to get you out. So some examples of this would be you have been not volunteering for quite some time because you didn't find the motivation to do so before, and now you want to put that to test. So the first thing that you could do is start to volunteer for a project. Or maybe you've been silent at work for some time and no one has heard your voice in a meeting, maybe in about a month. And that first crack of your voice at the next meeting is going to be so tough for you. But once you're able to do that and arm yourself with a phrase that you can use to interrupt your overthinking and give yourself permission to speak up in the room, maybe a phrase like, hey, I just have one thought to share. And that opens up the floor for you. So really be thoughtful about how you can do something that's going to be a little bit different for yourself, but doing it safely and in a way that's going to get you to move to that version of you that you want to show up at work. And then the last step is N, which stands for next level. And this is where I bring all of my talent management experience. And it's really helping people understand how you can show up at work and how you can position yourself for growth. And I have worked with senior leaders on succession plans, on high potential growth programs, and also for leadership development programming as well. And a lot of the work that we do is helping specifically high potential people be positioned for growth. And you can be one of these people if you're not already. And this is following steps sequentially, because you can't have a negative mindset of, oh my gosh, I'm quitting, and then have a conversation with your leader going, hey, I'm putting up my hand and showing my ambition today, because your leader probably has not seen you in your highest potential way. And so you need to start with the model of thinking about how you want to show up, and then showing up with expression, and then showing up through elevating yourself at work and going into these assignments that you're uncomfortable with and getting yourself out of that comfort zone and running into the fire. And then you're going to be ready to have this conversation. And you know what? It might not be in a month. It might not be in 3 months. It could be 6 months. It could be a little bit longer, because we all need time to change. And that's okay. So you take it at your own pace. But when you're ready, you need to get feedback. You need to get feedback from your leader. You need to understand where you stand. You need to be able to ask your leader for feedback around how have you been showing up? Do they see the difference? Is it making an impact? And then you're going to then let your ambition be shown. And listen, you don't have to state your ambition through so many steps, but I just want to make sure that you have the self-awareness and you are showing up in a way that is going to make this a very positive conversation for you. And so when you're ready, make sure that you are telling your leader what you want to do and ask for honest feedback along the way, because that is going to open up the doors for you. Your leader might tell you, hey, perhaps you're not ready, but it gives you the opportunity to then ask, why am I not ready? And or your leader might come back and surprise you, or maybe not surprise you because you know you deserve it, that you are ready and they want to support you. Then you also need to be ready to say, okay, this is the type of support, these are the types of roles I'm interested in, or more specifically, here are the experiences and the skills that I want to grow within this company. So the next level is going to then help you be seen for the trajectory that you want to grow in, and have a leader who's going to be an ally by your side, because they're going to go into calibration meetings. They're going to represent you, your performance, your brand in front of other leaders to help you get that promotion and or whatever next position you want in your career. So when you bring all 4 of these elements together in my framework, scene, which is self, expression, elevate, and next level, you create what I call authentic presence. It's balancing your expertise and your connection to others. So you're no longer performing in a small way. You're just showing up as yourself. You're being seen for who you are, being respected for who you are. So quiet quitting wasn't an end for you. It's actually the start and the beginning of rebuilding your career from a place of clarity, not from exhaustion. It's going to help you be seen and not just be busy. And if you want help and support with putting this framework into practice, I do offer a one-on-one visibility coaching. It's called Resign the Labels. And why I call it Resign the Labels is because it starts with that self. It's our mindset and what we tell ourselves in our mind that's keeping us small and keeping us hidden from others. And we need to tackle and resign those labels together so that you can start to express yourself in a way that's going to be authentic. You can then start to elevate and practice being who you want to become as yourself, and also be able to get the support to have the next level conversations with your manager and other leaders so that you are seen for your full potential and you actually reach your career goal. So my one-on-one coaching can help you with all of that, and the link is below. And I invite you to a 15-minute clarity call to make sure that you are getting the answers that you need. It's going to be no pressure. It's just going to be an honest conversation between us to see how I can best help you. And I hope that you would just take away some additional information for you to help you continue to grow and be successful in your career.